Hello everyone, and welcome to your Aries New Moon Wishes for April the 15th, 2018. The Aries New Moon Sign readings, of course, are all about the equinox energy. So whether you're in the Southern Hemisphere and this is your harvest season, or this is the vernal equinox for you, the spring equinox in the Northern Hemisphere that is initiating your new year energy, what you're planting, what you're sowing at this particular time. It's a very auspicious moment. So I wanted to take a moment to let you know some of the things that Great Mother has been seeding in and through me to and for you. These new moon wishes, I am taking the time to actually write out suggested new moon wishes for you. If you're not familiar with working with new moon energies or how to work with them, it's basically really being clear about what your intentions are, writing them out, no more than 10, and you want to be sure that they're individual wishes. So for example, you want to go out and have more fun, and you want to make more friends, as an example. Those are two wishes, and they need to be separate. So I want to go out and have fun is one wish, and I want to make new friends is the second wish. Not sure exactly why it doesn't work when they're combined. It may have something to do with dictating how we want our blessings to come to us, which really does stagnate the manifestation process. The other thing that you want to keep in mind when you work with your new moon wishes is that they are just for you. We don't make wishes for other people. Again, imposing our will in that space of creation is an energy that we really want to avoid because it attracts that energy to us. So to maintain our autonomous divinity in a way that is pure, in a way that is clearly channeled, we want to keep that wish for us, for ourselves, those wishes just for us. We can introduce the process to others at any time. And you want to just write them down, not meditate on them, but do put them away so that you can later reflect on them as your lunar cycles progress. You can come back and reflect on what has manifested. You'll begin to be very astonished by how quickly things do come into manifestation working with your new moon wishes. And so you won't have to look back at it very often. What you will discover is that things that do not manifest will probably be because they were somehow combined, or they are very core issues that you're working with and working through. So those are just some hints. I'll give you some more kind of rules of the road in terms of working with that. As Jane Spiller says, I'm one of her students working with lunar energies, and so that will be on your link to the blog on greatmotherspeaks.info. Suggested new moon wishes for your moon sign. Speaking of the vlog, this new lunar year for Aries moon sign people, your video has already been posted, and so it talks about for each of you when your new moon comes each year, what Great Mother is coming through and saying will be some of your challenges and all of the energy that's available for you to actually feel the support of your divinity throughout the year. And so it's a very interesting look at how to plan for the year coming up. This is what you've probably heard me refer to as when the sun is in your moon sign. This happens once a year when the sun is traveling through your moon sign's constellation, and when the moon, it becomes new in that sign, is your lunar new year. Again, we all have our own houses, our own degrees of when our moon came in. You may not have been born during the new moon in Aries, obviously. You could be born in November, and your moon was a full moon. Well, if it was a full moon, it was in September, for example, because that is the Aries full moon. And so your Aries moon might actually be there. And so that's where the personal readings come into play. These are general readings about the general energies. So remember to book at greatmotherspeaks.info. And speaking of that, this month until the 30th, there is a sale on readings. All our readings, Great Mother Speaks readings, your moon sign readings that are normally $85, and the hour readings that are normally $65, Great Mother Speaks readings, they're all $50. So that is an encouragement to really get some information about this very auspicious season to help you kind of jumpstart the year for you in terms of planning this planting season. The moon is really, really important with regard to planting and harvesting. Want to be sure that you also know that the Mama Drama Trauma website is finally up. So mamadramatrauma.info is up and ready to go. I want to let you know about the support group. This is a group that is using the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck as a coaching tool to really support the general welfare of survivors of Mama Drama Trauma. In my coaching work, I have found that supplemental support throughout the week is very useful, and in joining a group in kind of the pilot experiments that I've had so far has really proved quite powerful. So it's very limited, small group, and so I think 5 is the maximum that we're just starting out with because we do really work through some of the principles and share ourselves anonymously through audio conferencing. So it's an opportunity for you at mamadramatrauma.info, which is the sister site to Great Mother Speaks.info, both of which are on the home site of themotherbond.com. So if you're just generally kind of rolled up on Great Mother Speaks and you're like, what the heck is going on? Check out themotherbond.com. It's just a general overview of what we're talking about in terms of maternal yin, Holy Spirit energy, and how it manifests as the good, bad, and divine mother in each and every one of us in each and every way. And to get a little bit more understanding about how to work with this energy and insight about just really how we experience that energy and why we experience it in the various ways that we do. Those are just really getting started up. But want to let you know about that. And last but not least, these new moon readings that you're watching are readings that are basically going to amplify, enhance, really refine and focus your understanding of what Great Mother's messages were throughout the second quarter readings. Now, we just had our second quarter readings posted for April to June. So the general 3-month period, we have 4 through the year. We did January to March, the first quarter, just overall what's going on during those lunar cycles. Now just posted are the second quarter readings that are all about what's happening up until June. Now we have a respite the second quarter from eclipses. We are still in Leo North Node, Aquarius South Node in the Western, and Cancer North Node or Rahu, and Ketu Capricorn in the Sidereal. But we are having some reprieve. No activity going on until the end of July, which will be the third quarter. So this reflection period is really important when I come in with these shorter messages, new moon, full moon messages, April, May, and June, to further refine your understanding and expand on what she was saying. However, if you have not watched those videos or you picked up something that you think that you want to go back and reflect on, again, the link is below to your second quarter readings. Well, I really, really do hope that you enjoy them. Remember, the second quarter readings do have a 25-minute introduction for people to understand what these readings are about, who Great Mother is speaking to, and how to use these readings to know the difference between your emotional voice and when Great Mother is speaking to you. So we took some time on those second quarter readings to do that. So if you've already listened to that, remember, fast forward to about 27 minutes at the beginning of your second quarter reading. So with no further ado, here from me to you are your April 15th Aries new moon readings from Great Mother Speaks. Hello, Taurus, Gemini, Moon people. Welcome to your Aries new moon reading. What I'm seeing is that you have come to a new awareness about others. This new awareness about others is a truth that is hard earned. It is something that is not shared by them. And it is bringing you to a place of soul evolutionary growth, that may be extremely difficult for you as a Taurus Gemini moon person, because for you, it's really important to feel connected to people, to communicate with people. You know, Gemini is ruled by Mercury. And so on an emotional level, that connection is really, really important to you. It makes you feel grounded in the world. And there is, and on a certain level, a real disconnect here. There's a real kind of disconnect, but it's not bothering you too much because this is in your 11th house. This Aries new moon is in your 11th house. And so this is a new kind of a deal. 11th house is groups. It is cliques. It is dynamics with the public, networking on social networks. And you're kind of over it. But in a good way, in a loving way. It's not in anger, it's not in frustration, but it's new for you. It's different for you not to care. I'm seeing that integrity is you telling yourself the truth about the situation. You are very clearly looking at the reality of the situation. You are very clearly saying that, hey, this is who you are, and I know who you are, and this is a veil that you've put on, but that's okay. You know, if you don't want to recognize it, that's fine. I don't have a need for you to recognize it. It could be anything. We see here with the Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, she's returning home from her Yellow Brick Road journey, and she recognizes everyone. She points out Professor Marvel and says, you were there. Well, he was Oz. She points out Huck, and you were there. He was the Scarecrow, and on and on and on. And they're kind of looking at her like, But we see it's a heart chakra card. And so the heart chakra is that crossroads between the ego and the soul. And so heart energy is that ego-soul alignment that gives us that inner confidence, that inner joy, that inner knowing that transcends all doubt. So that's okay. You know, I know. Type of thing is how you are approaching this new moon. The transformative opportunity that you have here, though, is to embrace the shadow. And so there are some aspects of yourself that you're not too proud of in the coming up to this awareness, perhaps. And so coming to this awareness of who the people really are took a lot out of you, maybe. And it probably took a very long time for you to really acknowledge it, because that is the emotional default, that you do like to connect with people. You're not a needy type of needing to connect with people. No, Taurus, Gemini, Moon people are not. But you do have the ability to communicate and a joy in communicating and connecting with people. And there has been a lull in that. And you've recognized that it hasn't been a genuine connection with people for a while. And now you know why. And as a result of that, you're realizing that some of it probably had to do with you. You know, that the way you were seeing people. You know, seeing people as understanding you maybe, or being interested in you, or wanting to hang out with you, or not wanting to hang out with you, or not interested in you. But now you realize it's not so much that, it's really XYZ. You know, for example, you know, the work that I do, you know, I have been trying so much on social media and trying so much to do that. And so now, you know, with the endeavors that I've been doing for the last 5 or 6 years, I would say I haven't done any actual payment for advertising or anything like that. I don't do that. Obviously, on my YouTube channel, you can see that, because I came to a similar awareness that, you know, it's not that platform for me. It's not for me to connect with people, 11th house energy, with what I see now, you know, that I'm doing. It's not consumable in that way. So it's nothing personal. It's just that it is a very personal type of dynamic where people have to actually feel it. It's not going to come across to people in a kind of a promotional, you know, type of way, outside of it being something that they directly are benefited from, you know, not in a commercial type way. And this is indicating that there have been some kind of general commercial type ways that you've been approaching your relationships, and now you see that and you've come home from that journey, as indicated by this balsamic moon with the integrity card, and the eternal grace and mercy that's available to you by embracing your internal truth. You're good with that. You're good with seeing the forest for the trees now. What Great Mother does not want you to overlook is that there may be a situation in which you are finding that you are not being heard as a result of your new insights, and you really do want people to kind of understand kind of where you've been through so that you can share with them why you are changing. You know, I know that when I was going through that, I was going through a lot of changes, and I wanted still to have that connection with people in my new way, because I wasn't doing so much social, networking or whatever. I just kind of fell off of so many things. And if you look at my platforms, they're not very active, and, wanting to explain to people, well, this is how I'm doing it now, and this is whatever. The Birth Mother card, the Soulmate card, is always about us taking a beat, root chakra, crescent moon card, to plant and to seed what we need to feel grounded, and just focus on that. Great Mother doesn't want you to be concerned about what other people are doing. As we see in this card, Aunt Em and Uncle Henry are preparing for the market. They really don't have time to engage in Dorothy's complaints about Miss Gulch, even though it was very serious to her. Total represents intuition in the Great Mother Speaks deck, and Miss Gulch was trying to take that away, which was a no starter for Dorothy. But they had other things to do. People have other things to do. You've come to that realization. It's not a comfortable realization, as we see with Dorothy in this card, but there is, on a soul level, again with the Soulmate card, and understanding that there is a purpose in the perceived division, and to reground yourself in focusing on what you need, because the Nefertiti card is the center of your spread. This is all about you owning your power. This is all about that broom that she brings back to Oz and says, hey, this is it. And when she does that, it allows everyone to take a breath and realizing the power that they all had all along, but they don't really recognize it even at that point. It has to be a couple more steps down the road before they even get to the point of realizing what they've just done. Look at what you've just done. You've just come to this awareness, Taurus, Gemini, Moon people, that you really don't need the buy-in of others, that you really are growing beyond what you have typically thought was the way that you need to connect with others. And although it may be new ground, although it may be a new season for you as it relates to grounding yourself in this higher knowledge and this heart knowing, and you don't quite know how the connections are going to be made. You don't know quite how your friendships or the new networks are going to go. It's all good, because the soul is ready to own its beauty. And we know that because your sidereal in Taurus is a sign that is ruled by Venus. And this beauty that we're seeing here with this throat chakra. Now, throat chakra is ruled by your Mercury in the Western Gemini. And so that's where we have, that ego soul alignment wanting to, come through with that. And the heart chakra with integrity ruled by Venus really wanting to, have you trust the truth that you've come to as a source of power in your life. It's not anything that's going to cost you. It's going to totally be 100% gain in your life, particularly your inner life, as we talk emotion and intuition here. What's in your shadow position is processing. You are processing all of this. You are really digesting this experience. This is another balsamic moon card. Balsamic moon, if you're watching this before the new moon, is the most powerful download period. So downloading from a Taurus sidereal is downloading what's going to ground you, what's going to secure you in this new understanding. So in this new understanding of your 11th house energies from Aries is all about looking at how you are going to associate now with people. So they're kind of shifting sands going on. So you're experimenting with new ways of talking to people and connecting with people. You're experimenting with what's going to make my life, feel joyful, and what's going to make me happy, what's going to make me sad, what's going to be good, what's going to be bad. All of those emotions you're kind of processing. We see that through this dance of Durga. Dancing with Durga, the Hindu goddess, is a very powerful dance that could kill you. Actually, Durga does not play. But here we're talking about boundaries, and boundaries are about what's okay and what's not okay. So this emotional dance that you're doing with now really is defining, refining, and focusing that for you in this new moon phase. This is emphasized with Great Mother with the Durga card, Gut Chakra here. Gut Chakra is ruled by Mars, which is what we're in right now. Mars rules Aries. And so you're really feeling that right now, a need to kind of shift the boundaries in the sand, maybe kind of let up a little bit with regard to some things and then tighten up with regard to others as they relate to owning your beauty. Now, underneath Nefertiti, we have the Jesus card, the law of soul guidance and guardianship, telling you that on this new path, if you haven't already experienced it, get ready for a lot of love. Get ready for a lot of support from unexpected corners, from unexpected people and situations that you probably would not have normally hung with or paid attention to or had a conversation with, because they're coming out of the woodworks to support you both materially and immaterially in your angels, guides, and ancestors. Pay attention to that. We see here with the yin card, be receptive of that. When you are in a transformative state, especially with 11th house energies, which could indicate a need for discipline. It has a lot of masculine energy in the 11th house, which talks about really how you want to use those relationships to fulfill what your goals are in your life. Okay, and so it's not so much using people, but it's having reciprocal relationships with others. And I think the Jesus card comes through, which is another heart chakra card, as we see in the corner here of the yin symbol, of that ego soul alignment, just really feeling at peace in the choices and the decisions that you're making, which now may seem a little strange. Maybe before, just from kind of an ego survival basis, you may not have made, again, the connections and the relationships with others that you are now doing in order to fulfill the truth of who you are, want, and need in your life at this time. What's going to facilitate this transformation for you is by engaging in some waking and sleeping dream notations, paying attention to what's coming through from your angels, guides, and ancestors, and really looking at it in a kind of an analytical way as it relates to your wants, your wishes, and your desires. But they're coming through to support you with that. In other words, you have new aspirations that are focusing on connections with people in a way that's going to fulfill them, and they're giving you guidance about that. So as we see with the Adi Shakti card, it's a second chakra card, and that is your hopes, wishes, and the desires, but it's in the waning gibbous moon phase, waning, the sharing and thanksgiving about what you're receiving. So in the Twister dream, Dorothy received a lot of foreshadowing insight about what was coming up for her, and even reflecting on some memories. So we have memory, experience, and imagination all really active here, working with these energies to transform what you know to be the truth into your physical life. And that's what happened, wasn't it? She went from having the Twister dream to actually crossing the threshold into Munchkin land. And so crossing the threshold for you has to do with this 11th house energy that's very similar, greeting the Munchkins, some unfamiliar people. They were very kind and very supportive. Follow the yellow brick road, right? But strange nonetheless. Pay attention to those strangeness episodes that come up for you to support you on your journey. It's very important because your outcome is personal power. Many times we cannot recognize our personal power because we do not know from whence our guidance comes or what the guidance is showing us, and therefore we don't act upon it. And so unacted upon guidance is a lack of power. It is a lack of utilizing our power. Our power comes from our activating our higher insights. That is genuine power. There's a book called Power versus Force by David Hawkins, and it's a very scientific analysis of the impact of power versus force. You know, power is enduring. It comes up from the source and it is sustained throughout space and time, whereas force is a momentary impact. And he went around the world and he looked at different sacred sites and he measured the power, and he looked at certain sites that were political power sites, and it's just nothing compared to those ancient sacred sites that have been sustained throughout time on this planet. So we have that access within ourselves, and of course that's what Great Mother is referring to with your outcome. Taurus, Gemini, Moon people, the Lilith card. This is when the ruby red slippers are bestowed upon Dorothy by Glinda the Good Witch in Munchkin Land. She does not know the power that she has been given at that time, as we see the Wicked Witch of the West and the shadow side of this lunar cycle, the waxing gibbous moon phase, which is about refining, revising, editing. She's still editing. She's still processing where she is and what she's about at this particular time. She still really doesn't know what's going on. All she does know is that she's been given support by the Divine Mother and she's being attacked by the bad one. That's all she knows. She has no idea why she's being attacked by the bad mother. Those ruby red slippers symbolize your birthright, Taurus, Gemini, Moon people, to be happy, healthy, and whole. That is a tremendous power and a necessity in order to receive guidance and to act upon it powerfully. That is my hope for you this new lunar cycle in April, and it is the Aries one in your 11th house. So your connections with others, you're reevaluating that, and I'm hoping the best for you as you pay attention to what those soul downloads are with regard to owning your beauty and your personal power as a result. Thank you so much for watching, sharing, and liking, but above all and most of all, remember, Great Mother loves you. And I do too.